off again talking about the coaches. Not quite as iconic as Wayne Graham or Gene Stevenson, but pretty close is Rick Jones, who was at Tulane from 94 to 14. That's 21 seasons. He made 12 NCAA tournament appearances with the Green Wave. And here's something interesting. In 2014, he couldn't finish the season due to health issues. So he let one of his assistants be the head coach for the final 11 games. And that guy we're all very familiar with. And it's Jake Gautreau. He was Tulane's coach for 11 games, which is something that I was not aware of prior to doing this research. So now we have Jay Ullman, who is going to be in his fourth full season, his fifth season. He coached 7 games in 22, but he's got a losing record overall of 91-97 and a losing record in the conference of 37-44. And you would never think that because, first of all, Tulane's been a problem for us. And, they've been to the NCAA tournament a couple of times by winning the American Conference tournament twice. So that's interesting. So with Tulane, first of all, we had Wichita State, who lost everybody. Nobody came back. Then Rice, we had a bunch of people coming back, but not much talent. Now Tulane is going to go one step further. They have a lot of people coming back and a lot of talent. So first of all, I'm going to start off with who's gone, who won't be at Tulane anymore. And that would be Theo Bryant, who was a left fielder, got 24 starts, came on late in the season, batted .311. He really started to play well towards the end, but now he's exhausted his eligibility. Gavin Schultz, mostly a DH, 58 starts, team captain, and against us, he had like a career. I think he hit better against East Carolina than any other team. He was 8 for 12, 8 runs, 7 RBIs, 2 doubles, and 3 home runs, and only 12 at bats. So he was a problem to deal with, but he's gone. And then Luke Flata, their left-hand pitcher, that had 15 starts, he's gone. And Carter Benbrook, who made 24 appearances and had 2 starts himself as a left-handed pitcher, he's gone. And then Michael Lombardi, he got drafted by Kansas City in the second round. And Lombardi, he played first base a lot. He DH'd, and he was also an excellent right-handed pitcher. And against us, he actually hit a home run. He hit a grand slam in game 2, and it was a losing. We still won that game. That's the game I think we won 12-5. But he hit a grand slam, and then in game 3, he got his first loss. I might have that backwards. Anyhow, Michael Lombardi pitched against us. Oh no, this was in the conference tournament final, where he pitched against us and gave up the winning run. And that was his first loss of the year. And for the season, I mean, he just was someone they could really depend on in both, in the batter's box, at first base, and on the mound. And he's gone. Also drafted was Taylor Montiel, another left-handed pitcher. He got drafted in the 12th round to Arizona. And then, of course, Connor Rasmussen, second baseman, another guy that gave us some issues, ex-Pirate. He was drafted in the 15th round, number 458 overall. So that's what they're missing. It sounds like a lot, but what they have coming back is also pretty impressive. So if you look at the starting lineup in that AAC championship game, the only 2 pieces that they lost were Connor Rasmussen at second, and Michael Lombardi was DH in that game. So the DH is easily replaceable. And second base, they have a guy coming in that 12 starts at South Carolina, That's where he's coming from. But before that, he started 34 games at Clemson. His batting average dipped. It was 264 at Clemson, and he only hit 200 in 12 starts at South Carolina. I'm assuming he'll be the second baseman, but they have they have other players coming in that are definitely going to challenge him. So the rest of the positions are basically people coming back. Hugh Pinckney will return at catcher. He started 40 games last season. Kai Harrison batted 283, 10 doubles, a triple, and a home run. He's a senior. He'll be returning at shortstop. Third baseman, James Ababitis. He batted 260, started 31 games, played in 51. He had 4 home runs. He's also a senior. In the outfield, everyone's back. You have Jason Wax, batted 335. He was their leading hitter. Started 45 games, had 14 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 home runs. Tanner Chun is going to be in the outfield. He was very consistent, a great fielder, a great defensive fielder, only batted 259. But for a littler guy, I mean, he had 8 home runs, 9 doubles, 2 triples, started 48 games, 5 for 5 in stolen bases. He's only a sophomore, like Jason Wax, who I previously mentioned. So, he'll be around for a while. He's coming back. So they're in good hands in the outfield because they also have Matthias Haas, who batted 299 and had 5 home runs, 5 doubles. He's a graduate senior, and he can play first base. He DH'd a lot too last year. So, they're in good shape there. DH this year, I'm putting down Trent Leolius, who came from Northwestern. He's a graduate student, started 49 games for Northwestern, had 16 home runs, batted 263. So that's adding some pop to their lineup to kind of make up for Gavin Schultz and the other pitcher that we just talked about. Help me out, Bubba. Who am I talking about? The guy that hit the grand slam against us. My notes. Oh, Michael Lombardi. So with losing Lombardi and Schultz, they're getting a little bit of pop back with Trent Leonis. They also got a transfer outfielder from New Mexico. He played 2 years there, batted 317 and 325, had 22 doubles, 5 triples, and 8 home runs. He's a graduate student as well. So he's adding some depth. But that's a lot of starts that they have returning, a lot of that they have returning, a lot of base hits. So I feel like on the offensive side, they're in really good shape. I mean, I think the only team that's returning more talent on the offensive side than they are in the conference is East Carolina. Now with pitching, they lost every left-handed pitcher they had except for Julius Ejike Charles, who also plays the outfield. Charles, he had 16 appearances, 14.2 innings, an 8.59 ERA. So the rest of their left-handers are transfers. They got Tom Vincent from Rice, who didn't do anything there. He was 0-1 with a 9 ERA. They got Bo Sampson from Oklahoma. He's a junior. He pitched 10.2 innings in 13 appearances and had an ERA of 5.06. So really nothing spectacular there. They got a guy from Pima Community College that has good stats, but I don't know if they'll transfer to this level, and that's Luis Pablo Navarro. 14 games, he was 7-2, 70 innings, a 3.60 ERA, 75 strikeouts, and only 25 walks. So maybe he can battle for one of the weekend jobs, and as will Jack Toporek, who's from Wagner. He's a graduate student. 14 starts at Wagner, 8-1, 3.49 ERA. That he's playing against competition that's more, what he'll be seeing in this conference than what Navarro was seeing at Pima Community College. So those numbers, they might they might do transfer pretty well. And then for right-handers, they have Trey Sahojic, who's returning. He had 15 appearances, 13 starts, 5-2, 4.89 ERA. He's a graduate student. J.D. Rodriguez, he's a senior. He made 8 starts, was 2-2, 6.84 ERA. Jacob Moore, 24 appearances. He was 2-1, 5.33 ERA. He's a bullpen guy. Will Clemens made 5 starts, 7.45 ERA, 1-1 record. Blake Walensky, another right-hander that's returning, was 5-4, made 5 starts, 7.51 ERA. And now coming in, it's going to be interesting to see what these guys can do. They're all very highly rated among junior college transfers, and that is Tennessee Tech's that's not a junior college. Sam Larson from Denison, which is a Division III school. He was 6-1 with a 1.91 ERA, 56.2 innings pitched, 71 strikeouts. He started 8 games. It was 6-1. So, I mean, that's some talent there. And then there are other pitchers that are transfers, or actually none of them are from junior college. They're all from Division I, and that's Jack Frankel from Liberty, who was 4-3 with a 3.40 ERA. He pitched 45 innings, only had 32 strikeouts, 18 appearances. Owen Geis from Long Beach State was 6-8 with a 4.90 ERA for the 49ers, and he pitched 68 innings, and he only had 44 strikeouts. And then Jack Braffa from Tennessee Tech was 6-4, 3.48 ERA, 51.2 innings pitched, and he only had 38 strikeouts. So none of those additions are high strikeout guys, but I think with Tulane they're just looking for some arms to be help out with the rotation, because they're okay with Trey coming back, but other than that, they're looking for 2 or 3 additional starters. So there's probably a group of 6 or 7 that are going to compete for that. Trying to think if I think that's pretty much it, Bubba. Schedule wise, it's interesting. They do take a road trip to start the season. They start off the first 4 games on the West Coast, 3 against Loyola Marymount, and then at UCLA. And that's something you normally see northern teams doing that. You don't usually see southern teams taking a West Coast trip to start the season. I'm glad we don't do that. We get the luxury of the Pirates always pretty much play at home opening weekend, which I love. Tulane's only playing 27 home games, while the Pirates are playing 37 home games. So, they're putting themselves a little bit of a disadvantage, I would say, with just their scheduling.
Yeah, and you're gonna hear a crazy stat when I do Florida Atlantic here in a minute.
Okay, well, you're about on deck, I would say. Well, no, I guess okay. Bubba's up next.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
We skipped you.
I know. Yeah, I had to do something. I'm gonna go ahead because I might have to drop soon. So
yeah, let's move on to the FAU Owls and Coach.
Hold on. Okay, just because I always go back and I say, hey, one more thing. I did forget one player for Tulane that's going to be a big contributor, and that's A.J. Grenefeld, who's an infielder. He's coming from Eastern Kentucky, 300 batting average, 817 OPS, 11 for 11 in stolen bases, and he was the Atlantic Sun all-freshman team, and he's going to be a sophomore. So we'll be seeing a lot of him in the next coming years, I'm sure.